Captain John Carter stood on the bridge of the Earth Space Force vessel Horizon *, his heart racing. The massive alien ship that had appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system dwarfed his vessel. After decades of wondering if humans were alone in the universe, they finally had their answer. "All systems ready, Captain," said Lieutenant Kelly Adams, her voice steady despite the tension. "Open communications channel," Carter ordered. His palms were sweaty, but he kept his face calm. This moment would go down in human history. The screen flickered to life, revealing a being with pale blue skin, large almond-shaped eyes, and no visible nose. It wore ornate robes with symbols that seemed to shimmer. "I am High Counselor Zixer of the Galactic Council," the alien said in perfect English. "We have been monitoring your species for some time." Carter took a deep breath. "I am Captain John Carter of Earth. We welcome you in peace and friendship." Zixer's expression remained unchanged. "Your species has recently begun venturing beyond your planetary system. The Council oversees all spacefaring civilizations in this sector. We have come to formally acknowledge your existence." The words seemed friendly, but Carter noted the dismissive tone. There was no warmth in the alien's voice. Behind Zixar, another alien stepped forward. This one had greenish skin and multiple small tentacles where a human would have a mouth. "I am Kraxon, Council Diplomat. We bring greetings from 500 member species." Over the next hours, the first official meeting between humanity and the Galactic Council unfolded. The Earth's leaders joined via secure channels. The aliens explained that the Council had existed for over 10,000 years, governing space travel, trade, and relations between different worlds. During a brief break, Carter overheard Zixer speaking to another alien. "These humans are remarkably primitive. Their ships use chemical propulsion, and they haven't even colonized their neighboring planets properly." Carter frowned but said nothing. Let them underestimate us, he thought. Later, when the main talks resumed, Zixer announced, "The Council has decided to classify Earth as a Class 3 civilization, barely spacefaring with minimal defensive capabilities. You may send one observer to our central station, but full membership is centuries away for your kind." The Earth representatives tried to hide their disappointment. They had hoped for technology sharing and true alliance. After the aliens departed, Earth's leaders gathered in an emergency meeting. Dr. Susan Miller, a brilliant xenobiologist, was selected to serve as humanity's observer on the Council station. "We need to learn everything we can," said President Laura Jenkins. "Their technology is centuries ahead of ours." "Did anyone else notice how they looked at us?" Carter asked. "Like we were children." Dr. Miller nodded. "They clearly don't see us as equals. But that might work to our advantage. If they don't see us as a threat, they won't hide as much." 2 weeks later, Dr. Miller prepared to depart on the alien shuttle. Captain Carter came to see her off. "I don't trust them," Carter said quietly. "Especially that Zixer." But the diplomat, Kraxon, seemed different. "I noticed that too," Miller replied. "I think Kraxon was studying us more carefully. I heard him telling Zixer not to underestimate human adaptability." Zixer didn't seem concerned. Miller smiled. "That's their first mistake. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and our own destructive tendencies. Humans are nothing if not survivors." As the alien shuttle departed with Dr. Miller aboard, Earth began quietly preparing. Science teams worked around the clock studying the small pieces of alien technology they had managed to scan during the visit. Military leaders drew up defense plans. Nations that had previously been enemies found common ground in the face of this new reality. The Galactic Council had made their decision about humanity. They saw a primitive species hardly worth noticing. As the alien ship vanished into the darkness of space, they had no idea they had just made the greatest mistake in their 10,000-year history. They had underestimated humans. Dr. Susan Miller gazed through the viewing port as the alien shuttle approached the massive space station. The Galactic Council headquarters, called *Eternal Harmony*, was a spinning wheel of metal and lights larger than anything humans had ever built. It orbited a star with no planets, placed in neutral territory. The shuttle docked with a soft thud. Susan gathered her few belongings and took a deep breath. She was the first human to visit the center of galactic politics, and she felt the weight of Earth's future on her shoulders. A tall, thin alien with grayish skin and 6 fingers on each hand waited for her. "I am Vexer, your assigned liaison," it said. "Follow me to your quarters." Susan nodded and followed. Vexer walked quickly, as if eager to finish this duty. "Your species requires oxygen and water, correct? We have adjusted your living space accordingly." "Thank you," Susan said. "I look forward to learning about the Council." Vexer made a sound that might have been a laugh. "There is little for you to learn that would benefit such a primitive species. Your observer status is merely a formality." The quarters were small but comfortable. Susan unpacked her equipment, including several hidden scanning devices disguised as personal items. Earth needed information, and she intended to gather as much as possible. Over the next few days, Susan attended council meetings. She sat in the observer section with representatives from other low-ranking worlds. Most ignored her, but a few showed curiosity about the newcomer species. During one break, she noticed she was struggling to stand while others moved easily. The artificial gravity was set higher than Earth's standard. "You seem uncomfortable," said an ancient-looking alien with wispy white tendrils flowing from its head. "The gravity is stronger than I'm used to," Susan admitted. The alien's eyes widened. "You function in multiple gravity environments. Most species can only survive in their native conditions. I am Galen, scholar of evolutionary biology." Susan smiled. "Humans evolved on a planet with varying conditions. We adapt." This began an unlikely friendship. Galen was from one of the oldest council species and had seen many civilizations rise and fall. Unlike most council members, he seemed genuinely interested in humans. One evening, Galen visited Susan's quarters. "I have observed something troubling," he said quietly. "The council is not what it appears." "What do you mean?" Susan asked. "For millennia, the council has claimed to help developing species, but I have studied the records. They systematically suppress technological advancement in younger species while taking their resources." Susan thought of Earth's limited access to council information. "Why tell me this?" "Because your species is different. I studied your history. Humans advance rapidly under pressure. The Council fears this." Over the following weeks, Susan secretly documented Council technologies. She learned their ships used a form of gravity manipulation for propulsion. Their weapons were energy-based. Most importantly, she discovered the communications network that spanned the galaxy. Using her scientific background, Susan created hidden transmissions within the Council's own network, sending encrypted data back to Earth. Each packet contained valuable information that Earth scientists could study. Meanwhile, something unexpected happened on Earth. Using the small samples of alien technology from first contact, human scientists made breakthroughs. Earth's technology was advancing faster than any species the Council had encountered before. On the station, an intelligence officer named Muradax approached Vexer. "The human observer concerns me," she said. "She asks too many questions." "She is harmless," Vexer replied. "What could one human learn that matters?" "Earth has developed fusion propulsion already," Muradax said. "That should have taken them centuries." Vexer frowned. "Impossible. They were using chemical rockets just months ago." In her quarters, Susan received a message from Earth. They had successfully built a prototype ship using principles reverse-engineered from Council technology. It was faster and more powerful than anything humans had created before. Susan smiled as she encoded her latest report. The Council thought humans were weak, primitive, and slow to advance. They had no idea what was coming. Their greatest mistake was giving humans a glimpse of what was possible. Humans never needed handouts. They just needed inspiration. And now they had it. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with angry voices. High Counselor Zixar called for order, pounding his ceremonial staff on the floor. The giant circular room slowly fell silent as hundreds of alien representatives turned their attention to the center. "The motion before us is clear," Zixar announced. "Humans have expanded beyond their authorized boundaries. They must be restricted to their home solar system until they demonstrate proper respect for Council authority." Dr. Susan Miller sat in the observer section, her face carefully blank despite her growing alarm. The vote was quick and overwhelming. The restriction passed with only a few species voting against it. As Susan hurried back to her quarters, she activated her hidden communication device. She needed to warn Earth immediately. The Council was sending enforcement ships to turn back all human vessels operating in neighboring star systems. Captain Alan Ross of the Earth vessel Defiant received the warning while exploring a mineral-rich asteroid belt in the Alpha Centauri system. His ship was the pride of Earth's new fleet, incorporating the reverse-engineered technology Susan had secretly sent home. "Council ships approaching, Captain," reported Lieutenant Greg Porter from the sensor station. 5 vessels, heavily armed. Ross straightened his uniform and faced his crew. "Send this message. This is Captain Alan Ross of the Earth vessel Defiant. We are conducting peaceful exploration under international space law." The main screen flickered to life, showing a reptilian alien commander. "Human vessel, by order of the Galactic Council, you are required to return to your home system immediately. All exploration rights have been revoked." Ross stood firm. "We do not recognize the Council's authority to restrict movement in neutral space. Earth maintains that the principle of international waters applies to space. We will continue our mission." The alien commander's scales darkened with anger. "You will comply or be forced to comply." The communication ended abruptly. Ross turned to his weapons officer, Lieutenant Olivia Chen. "Battle stations. Defensive posture only." The Council ships surrounded the Defiant. Weapons charge. They expected the human vessel to surrender immediately. They were wrong. When the first warning shot came, the Defiant activated its shield system. The energy blast dissipated harmlessly against the barrier. The Council commanders were shocked. Earth ships shouldn't have shield technology for at least another century. "Return fire," Ross ordered. "Disable their propulsion systems only." The Defiant's weapons were precise and powerful. 2 Council ships lost engine control immediately. The others pulled back, confused by the unexpected resistance. "Plot an escape course," Ross commanded. "Maximum speed." The Defiant shot forward, its engines pushing it faster than any Council ship could follow. The Council commanders watched in disbelief as the supposedly primitive human vessel vanished into the darkness of space. Back on Earth, President Laura Jenkins called an emergency meeting. Representatives from all major nations gathered to discuss the Council's restrictions. Captain Ross reports the Defiant escaped without casualties, General William Patterson announced. But this changes everything. The Council has shown their true intentions. Jenkins nodded gravely. Dr. Miller's reports were correct. The Council never intended to treat us as equals. They want to keep us contained and weak. "We were divided before," said Admiral Diane Pottle, "fighting over resources and borders. Now we face a common threat." For the first time in human history, nations began truly working together. Old enemies shared technology and resources. A unified defense strategy emerged. New ships were built incorporating the innovations from the Defiant. On the Council station, Susan carefully avoided drawing attention to herself, but she noticed the increased security and the worried looks from Council officials. "They are frightened," Galen told her during a secret meeting. "No species has ever defied a Council restriction before, and none has advanced technologically as quickly as humans." "What will they do next?" Susan asked. Galen's ancient eyes looked troubled. "They will try to make an example of your species. The Council cannot allow this challenge to their authority." Susan sent an urgent message to Earth that night. Prepare for conflict. The Council won't stop with restrictions. They see us as a threat now. What the Council failed to understand was that humans had always excelled when facing threats. Throughout their history, their greatest advances came during their darkest times. By trying to restrict humans, the Council had only ensured they would push harder, advance faster, and unite like never before. The Council's mistake was growing larger by the day. Dr. Susan Miller walked quickly through the lower levels of the Council station. These areas were rarely visited by high-ranking officials, making them perfect for secret meetings. She entered a small storage room where 3 aliens waited nervously. "Thank you for coming," Susan said quietly. "I know the risk you're taking." The tallest alien, with 4 arms and copper-colored skin, spoke first. "I am Kaldan of the Norvan people. For centuries, the Council has taken our resources while giving little in return. My people, the Tilaxians, are forced to mine dangerous materials for Council ships," said a short, stocky alien with gray fur. "Many die each year from radiation." The third alien resembled a praying mantis. "The Rixel were once great scientists. Now the Council restricts our research and takes our discoveries." Susan nodded. "Earth faces similar restrictions, but we believe together we can change things." This was the 4th such meeting Susan had organized. While officially she was just an observer, unofficially she was building an alliance of species who resented Council control. Meanwhile on Earth, the new United Fleet grew stronger each day. Every ship incorporated both human ingenuity and alien technology. Training simulators ran day and night, preparing crews for space combat. Lieutenant Kate Peterson stood on the bridge of the newly commissioned Intrepid running battle drills. A former fighter pilot, she had been chosen to lead one of Earth's most advanced ships. "Sensor contact," called out her officer. "Unknown vessel, appears to be in distress." Peterson ordered her ship closer. The vessel was small, clearly damaged, and drifting in space near the edge of the solar system. "It's Norvan," reported her communications officer after scanning the ship. "They're requesting emergency assistance." Peterson remembered her briefing about potential allies. "Bring them aboard." Full medical team to the docking bay. The Norvan captain, bleeding from several wounds, explained that they had been attacked by Council enforcers while trying to leave their mining colony. "We sought to escape their control, but they fired on our transport." "How many are still at the colony?" Peterson asked. "Over 300, the Norvan replied, "mostly workers and their families." Peterson made a decision that would change the course of the growing conflict. "We're going to help them." 24 hours later, the Intrepid arrived at the small Norvan mining colony. 2 Council enforcement ships orbited the planet. They weren't expecting company. Jamming their communications, Peterson ordered. "Launch fighters." Earth's new fighters were small, fast, and incredibly maneuverable. They swarmed the surprised Council ships, disabling their weapon systems with precision strikes. While the Council ships were distracted, the Intrepid sent down shuttles to evacuate the Norvan families. The Council had never seen such tactics before. They were used to overwhelming force, not quick surgical strikes. As the Intrepid departed with all the Norvans safely aboard, Peterson sent a message to Earth. "Mission successful. 327 refugees secured. Requesting permission to bring them to Earth." The response came directly from President Jenkins. "Permission granted." "Well done, Lieutenant." On the Council station, a scientist named Jethro presented evidence of the human military buildup to the High Council. "Their production capabilities are remarkable," Jethro explained. "They're building ships faster than any species we've encountered." High Councilor Zixer dismissed the report. "They're still primitive. Their ships may look impressive, but they lack true understanding of advanced technology." Meanwhile, Susan received word of the Intrepid's rescue mission. The news was spreading among the oppressed species. Hope was growing. The Norvan rescue was being dismissed as a minor incident, Galen told her when they met secretly. The Council refuses to believe humans could be a significant threat. Susan smiled. That's exactly what we want them to think. Across the galaxy, the species contacted by Susan began small acts of resistance. The Council's vast intelligence network detected unusual communications, but underestimated their significance. The alliance was growing stronger every day, while the Council remained blind to the threat. Their arrogance prevented them from seeing the truth. A storm was coming, and humans were leading it. Alarms blared throughout the Council station. Security forces rushed down corridors as officials hurried to emergency meeting rooms. At the center of the chaos stood High Counselor Zixar, his face twisted with rage. "Find her," he shouted at the guards. "Find the human observer immediately." But Dr. Susan Miller was already gone. Council security had discovered her secret communications with Earth and her meetings with other species. They labeled her a terrorist and ordered her arrest. Galen had warned her just in time. "They know everything," he had whispered as they met in a service corridor. "You must leave now." Susan was now hiding in the station's maintenance tunnels, areas so rarely visited that even the station's sensors didn't monitor them properly. Galen had shown her these secret paths months ago. "This way," Galen said, leading her toward a small private shuttle bay used by researchers. "My access code still works for this area." Meanwhile, Earth received word of Susan's exposure. President Jenkins called an emergency meeting with military leaders. "Dr. Miller has been compromised," she announced. "The Council now knows about our technological advances and alliance building." Admiral Frank Howard, commander of Earth's defense forces, stood up. "We expected this might happen. Our fleet is ready." Earth had prepared for this moment. The reverse-engineered technology from Susan's reports had transformed their military capabilities. 50 new ships formed a defensive line around Earth, with more protecting the colonies on Mars and the moons of Jupiter. In space, Council warships appeared at the edge of the solar system. Their communication came through on all Earth channels. "Attention Earth government," the Council commander announced. "You have harbored a terrorist and stolen Council technology. Surrender Dr. Susan Miller and disable all your advanced vessels immediately." President Jenkins responded calmly. "Dr. Miller is a diplomatic representative who has been falsely accused. We will not surrender her or disable our fleet. We suggest you depart from our system peacefully." The Council commander laughed. "Your primitive species cannot hope to stand against us. This is your final warning." Admiral Howard took his position on the bridge of the flagship Defender *. "All ships, defensive formation. Do not fire unless fired upon." The Council ships moved forward, confident in their superior technology and numbers. They had faced rebellious species before and always crushed them easily. The first energy blasts from the Council ships struck the Earth vessels. The Council commanders expected to see explosions and destruction. Instead, they watched in shock as the human ships absorbed the attacks with advanced shield technology. "Impossible," the Council commander muttered. "Their shields should not be this advanced." Admiral Howard gave the order. "Controlled response only. Disable their weapons and propulsion." Earth's ships fired with precision. Their weapons were not just copies of Council technology. They were improved versions. The human engineers had studied the principles and made them better, more efficient. 3 Council ships lost power immediately. 2 more spun out of control as their engines failed. The remaining ships pulled back, regrouping for another attack. On the Council station, Galen helped Susan board a small research vessel. "The access codes will get you past the outer defenses," he said. "After that, you must fly to these coordinates." Susan looked at the old alien who had become her friend. "Come with me, Galen. They'll punish you for helping me." Galen shook his head. "I am too old for adventures. Besides, I can do more good here." There are others who question the Council's ways. As Susan's ship slipped away from the station, Council security forces finally broke into the shuttle bay. They found only Galen, sitting calmly, waiting for them. In the Sol system, The Council fleet launched a second attack. This time, they concentrated all their firepower on Howard's flagship. The Asterisk Defender's asterisk shields flared bright blue but held. "Return fire," Howard ordered. "Full weapons." The Earth fleet responded with overwhelming force. Human weapons tore through the Council ship's defenses. Within minutes, half the Council fleet was disabled or destroyed. The rest turned and fled, jumping to faster-than-light speed. News of the human victory spread quickly across Council space. Species that had been oppressed for centuries looked up from their worlds and wondered, had someone finally defeated the mighty Council? As Susan's small ship raced toward Earth, she knew the real war was just beginning. The Council would return with a larger force. But for the first time in 10,000 years, they faced an enemy they couldn't easily crush. They had awakened humanity's fighting spirit, and that was their greatest mistake of all. News of the human victory spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Species that had suffered under Council rule for generations began to whisper about resistance. Some did more than whisper. On the mining world of Keldor, the Norvan workers threw down their tools and seized control of the processing facilities. On Talaxia Prime, protesters filled the streets, demanding freedom from Council oversight. The Rixel scientists sabotaged Council research projects. The Council chamber was in chaos. Representatives shouted over each other as High Councilor Zixar struggled to maintain order. "This rebellion must be crushed immediately," bellowed Drazek, the Council's military commander. His massive form towered over the other Council members. "The humans have shown their true nature. They are a disease spreading through our territory." Craxon, the diplomat who had first warned about underestimating humans during first contact, stepped forward. "Perhaps negotiation would be wiser. The humans have proven more capable than we expected." "Negotiation is weakness," Drazek replied. "I will lead our main battle fleet to Earth and end this problem permanently." Dr. Susan Miller's ship reached Earth safely. She was immediately taken to the new combined military headquarters beneath the Rocky Mountains. There she met with General Lisa Ward, the commander of Earth's ground forces. "The Council is mobilizing for full-scale war," Susan explained, showing the general the data she had stolen during her escape. "They have thousands of ships, but many are old and their weapons are outdated." They'd grown complacent. General Ward studied the information. "We've united Earth's forces like never before, but we're still outnumbered. We need allies." "We have them," Susan replied. "During my time on the station, I built connections with many species who hate Council rule. They're waiting for leadership." Earth sent secure communications to the rebelling worlds. The message was simple: "You are not alone. We stand with you." The Galactic Council was shocked when coordinated attacks hit their outposts across 20 systems simultaneously. Supply depots exploded. Communication relays went silent. Council military vessels found themselves ambushed by previously peaceful species. Amid this growing chaos, diplomat Craxon made a bold move. Using his personal ship, he traveled to the edge of Earth's solar system and requested a peace meeting. General Ward met with Craxon aboard a neutral vessel. "I warned my colleagues about humans from the beginning," Craxon said. "I study your history. You are survivors, adaptable and resourceful. This war benefits no one." Ward listened carefully. "We want peace, but not under Council control. We and our allies demand recognition as equals." Their discussion continued for hours. Craxon seemed sincere, and Ward transmitted his peace proposal back to Earth for consideration. But Commander Drazek had no interest in peace. While the negotiations proceeded, he secretly deployed a strike force to attack Earth directly. His plan was to end the rebellion by destroying its source. The attack came without warning. 10 of the Council's most powerful warships appeared near Earth's moon and began firing immediately. Earth's defense fleet responded quickly, but they were outnumbered. The battle raged across Earth's orbit as humans fought with unexpected ferocity and skill. When news of the surprise attack reached General Ward, she realized the peace talks had been a distraction. "Craxon, did you know about this?" she demanded. The alien diplomat looked genuinely shocked. "No, Drazak has betrayed the Council's own protocols. This is not authorized." Ward's communications officer interrupted with urgent news. "General, we're receiving transmissions from multiple systems. Allied forces are engaging Council ships throughout the sector." The rebellion had become a full-scale war. Earth formed the core of what they called the Free Systems Alliance. What the Council had dismissed as isolated incidents had become a coordinated resistance. As Ward returned to Earth to direct the defense, she reflected on how quickly everything had changed. 6 months ago, humans didn't know aliens existed. Now they led an alliance against the galaxy's oldest power. The Council had believed their superior numbers would guarantee victory, but they were learning a painful lesson about human determination and ingenuity. Outnumbered but not outmatched, humanity fought with centuries of warfare experience that the long, peaceful Council lacked. The mistake of underestimating humans was proving more costly by the day. Dr. Susan Miller and Galen crept through the abandoned halls of the Council's ancient archive station. The war had pulled security forces away from this remote facility, giving them a rare opportunity to search for answers. "The oldest records are kept here," Galen whispered. His age made him move slowly, but his knowledge was essential. "The Council restricts access to their true history." Susan used a device to bypass the security lock on a massive door. Inside, they found rows of crystalline data storage units. Each crystal contained thousands of years of information. "How will we find what we need?" Susan asked, looking at the endless shelves. Galen pointed to a section sealed behind extra security measures. "The forbidden history will be there." The Council hides what they fear. While they worked to access the restricted archives, the war raged across hundreds of star systems. Earth ships led attacks on key Council facilities, using tactics the Council had never seen before. Instead of meeting the larger Council fleets in direct battle, human commanders used hit-and-run strikes, guerrilla warfare adapted for space. Captain Paul Wright guided his ship, the *Pioneer*, through the debris field of a destroyed space station. His mission was the most daring yet, to capture the Council's central data repository. "Approach vector clear, Captain," reported his navigation officer. "No Council ships detected." Wright nodded. "Maintain stealth systems. Deploy the boarding team." A small team of soldiers prepared to board the massive data facility. Among them was Lieutenant Kate Peterson, now promoted after her successful Northern rescue mission. "Remember," Wright told them, "this mission isn't about destroying. We need to capture their communication codes intact." Peterson led her team across the short space between their ship and the facility. Once inside, they moved quickly through the corridors, disabling security systems as they went. Back in the ancient archive, Susan and Galen made a shocking discovery. The crystals revealed the true history of the Galactic Council. "This can't be right," Susan said as she read the translated text. According to this, the Council species didn't develop their technology themselves. Galen nodded sadly. "I suspected as much. The records show they were uplifted by another race called the Architects, given advanced technology before they were ready for it." Susan continued reading. "It says the Architects abandoned the project when they realized their creations were becoming authoritarian and controlling. And look at this genetic data." Galen pointed to another screen. "The Architect's DNA sequence is remarkably similar to human DNA." Susan finished, her voice barely a whisper. "That's why they fear us. We remind them of their creators who abandoned them." The revelation was stunning. The Council's entire civilization was built on technology they hadn't earned or fully understood. Their fear of humans wasn't just about losing control. It was deeper, more instinctive. Susan quickly copied the data. "The galaxy needs to know the truth." At the data repository, Peterson's team reached the central control room. They quickly overcame the minimal resistance and secured the facility. "Download complete," Peterson reported to Captain Wright. "We have their entire communication network." Wright's voice came through her headset. "Well done, Lieutenant. Now we can broadcast on all Council channels." Within hours, Susan's discovery was combined with the captured communication codes. The truth about the Council's origins was broadcast across every planet, every station, every ship in Council space. The effect was immediate. Many Council worlds, upon learning their entire civilization was built on deception, declared independence. Military vessels stopped fighting, their crews questioning the cause they had served. High Counselor Zixar watched in horror as his control collapsed. "Shut down the broadcasts," he ordered frantically. "This is human propaganda." But it was too late. The truth was spreading faster than they could contain it. Even loyal Council members began to question their leaders. Commander Drazek gathered what remained of his loyal forces. "We retreat to the core worlds," he ordered. "This war is not over." As Susan watched the Council's power crumble from the bridge of an Earth ship, she realized the greatest weapon against them hadn't been technology or tactics. It had been truth. The Council had hidden their history for 10,000 years. Now, thanks to human determination, their greatest secret was exposed to the light. 3 months after the revelation of the Council's true origins, representatives from over 200 species gathered on a neutral space station. The massive meeting hall had been specially built for this historic occasion. At the center was a round table where the leaders of the new galactic order would sit. Admiral Frank Howard and Dr. Susan Miller represented Earth. Around them sat the leaders of the Norvan, Talaxian, and Rixel peoples, along with many others who had fought against Council rule. Surprisingly, Kraxon was also present. After Drazek's unauthorized attack during peace negotiations, Kraxon had broken with the Council and helped many worlds transition peacefully to independence. "We stand at a turning point in galactic history," Admiral Howard began. "The old Council ruled through deception and fear. We must build something better." For days, the representatives debated the structure of their new alliance. Some wanted a strong central authority to maintain order. Others feared creating another council that might become just as corrupt. Susan Miller offered a solution. "On Earth, we have many different governments that work together through organizations based on shared principles. Let each species govern themselves, but agree to common rules for trade, travel, and conflict resolution." The idea gained support, especially among species who had suffered under Council control. They called their new organization the Galactic Confederation, founded on principles of self-determination and cooperation. Kraxon stepped forward when it was his turn to speak. "I served the Council for many years, believing we brought order to chaos. I was wrong. We brought stagnation and fear." He looked directly at the human representatives. "When we first encountered humans, I warned my colleagues not to underestimate you. That was the Council's greatest mistake. They saw your physical weakness compared to some species, your short lives, your young civilization. They failed to see your greatest strength." "What strength?" asked the Talaxian leader. "Adaptability," Kraxon replied. "Humans evolved on a world of constant change and challenge. They thrive on it. While the Council feared change, humans embraced it. As the new confederation took shape, humanity found itself in a unique position. Their ships were requested as peacekeepers between formerly hostile worlds. Their diplomatic skills, honed by centuries of resolving conflicts among their own diverse cultures, proved valuable in mediating disputes. Earth itself became a center for cultural and technological exchange. Alien students came to human universities. Human scientists worked alongside alien researchers to develop new technologies that benefited all. On the final day of the conference, Captain Paul Wright received a new assignment. His ship, the Pioneer would lead a mission beyond known space to search for evidence of the Architects. "We know they existed," Susan explained during the mission briefing. "Their genetic similarity to humans can't be coincidence. If we can find them, or learn what happened to them, we might understand our own origins better." Wright welcomed his crew aboard, including representatives from 12 different species. No council ship would have allowed such diversity. As the Pioneer prepared to depart, he addressed them. "We face the unknown together," he said. "Each of us brings different strengths and perspectives. That diversity is our greatest advantage." As the ship departed on its historic mission, Susan Miller stood with Admiral Howard and President Jenkins on Earth, watching the live stream. "6 months ago, we didn't know aliens existed," Jenkins said. "Now we lead a galactic alliance." Howard nodded. "The Council spent 10,000 years building their power. We changed the galaxy in less than a year." Susan smiled as she watched the Pioneer vanish into the depths of space. "The Council thought our youth and inexperience made us weak. They never understood that being young also made us bold, innovative, and hungry for growth." The three humans looked up at the stars, now filled with possibility rather than threat. The Council's mistake had not just been underestimating humans. It had been failing to recognize that the very qualities they dismissed as weaknesses were actually humanity's greatest strengths. In trying to contain humanity, the Council had instead unleashed their potential across the galaxy, and the stars would never be the same.